What's up, my fellow vapors? We are back with the Crafty Plus on my ever-growing quest to find the perfect battery device for on-the-go or dog walks, something no muss, no fuss when I'm working outside on projects that just is easy, or something that I can suggest to people that might have some disabilities or trouble using some of the more complicated devices. I really wanted something that I could point them in the direction of, that they could really just find easy to stop combusting and lean into the world of thermal extraction. The Crafty Plus is a fantastic top-of-the-line upgrade made in Germany from a company called Storz Bickel. One of the coolest aspects of this device is every last component inside of this device can be traced back with paperwork as to the origin, the build, the quality, all of the every last detail that you would want to know about the device. There is paperwork and tracking of it. Storz Bickel made a really big thing about making this the first medically approved thermal extraction device. Everything about this is top notch. The quality of the build and also the quality of the materials used to make this device. It is a very simple device to get to know. There aren't a whole ton of parts, so we'll just start at the top. Up here we have the mouthpiece. Out of the box, this comes with a plastic mouthpiece, which looks pretty much identical to this, except it has a couple of O-rings here which just fit inside the mouthpiece. Other than that, they are pretty much the same. This is an upgraded mouthpiece. This is one of the first things I changed about my Crafty. I am not a huge fan of plastic, even if it might be really good plastic and really good quality. Just something about it feels weird to me, so I went with a titanium mouthpiece from a company in France called FTV. Then moving down from the mouthpiece, we have this lock which slides back and forth. This allows you to take the cooling unit apart. If you just pull this lock back and pull up on this, you can get to the interior of the cooling unit. I wanted to show you, I left it a little dirty so you could see some of the buildup that happens inside of this plastic cooling unit. This is one of the things, as I started using the Crafty, that kind of, I don't want to say bothered me, but I found wasn't the best. I'm not a huge fan of soaking plastics in isopropyl alcohol, which is how they suggest that you clean this cooling unit. So to clean all this out with all these little tiny ridges with a Q-tip was actually quite difficult and not something that I liked doing. And I found that as one of the, I don't want to say biggest downsides to the Crafty, but one of the things I felt needed fixing the most was just ease of cleaning in this area. We can put the top to the cooling unit back on, push down, slide the lock forward. Then to get the whole cooling unit off, you turn to swivel that to the side and pull straight up. There is a screen in the bottom of the cooling unit to stop material from going too far up into the cooling unit. This screen that they use has a wider pattern. So when you open your Crafty box, you'll see two types of screens. You'll see this wider one and this smaller one, which goes in the bottom of the chamber. As we continue down the device, we have an O-ring that keeps this sealed. I have not had to change this O-ring out yet. I'm not really sure what would cause me to have to change that O-ring out, but it seems to just hold steady in there. As I just mentioned, there is a small mesh screen in the bottom of the chamber which can be pulled out and replaced. Because I use the dosing capsules, I have not ever had to replace that screen down there. I know that if you put the material directly in the bowl, that screen would have to be changed out, as well as you'll get buildup on the side of the chamber there, which you'll have to scrape off. That's why I highly suggest using dosing capsules in battery devices. To the back, you'll notice this little orange thingy here. What that is it's a little poker, tamper, stir tool device. Just a fun little tool. Fits in here for on-the-go use. For me, I don't really use this, but what I do like about this is it acts like a dust cover for the USB-C charger. When I'm charging, I will stick that inside upside down. That way I can plug the cable in and not lose my little poker tool. The USB-C charges from empty to full in about an hour. The amount of extractions you will get out of one battery vary on a lot of things. Some of those things being the length of which you have your sessions and the temperature of which you have your sessions. Another thing that I have found that really affects the Crafty's battery life is in the app there is a setting for permanent Bluetooth. You're going to want to turn that off because boy howdy does that thing drain the battery really fast. Keep your eyes peeled for the next videos in this series where we will be going over accessories, and then another one where we will go over the app. So now that we talked about that, just put that back in there and we'll go to the front of the device. And this is it. There is one button. That's all. You push the button to turn it on. It heats up. Then once it is at temperature, you can double click the button to do a boost temperature, which you can set in the app, or you can triple click the button to get to a super boost, which will put the Crafty at max temperature, which is 410 degrees Fahrenheit. That is all she wrote about the Crafty. I know I mentioned this once before, but really use dosing capsules. It will keep the longevity of your Crafty at a maximum and really makes it a lot easier to hot swap bowls and really makes this convenient beyond belief. Let's go ahead and give it a go. Throw the dosing capsule in there, take the cooling unit, twist it on. Because these are just plastic tabs in there, you really don't want to force this click on. It is a very smooth, well constructed and well designed fitting there, so it does have a little bit of a click and you just want to stop. Make sure you don't put any undue stress on that top there. Click the button and it turns on and it'll heat up. You will have LED indicators, red for heating up and green for good to go. It does have a vibration feature. So for those people who might be vision impaired, there is a good tactile indication of when it turns on and when it is at temperature. All right, and there you have it. We got a double vibrate and a green light to let you know it's all at temperature. It does take a minute or two to get up to temperature, but when it's up at temperature, it is really a nice vapor quality. I usually let it sit for another second because I use the dosing capsules. I really want that dosing capsule to suck up all that heat. So now that we've let it heat soak, we're going to go ahead and give this a go. Wow, that was super tasty. At the end there, it did turn red, which means it just dropped temperature just a little bit. That sometimes happens on my first and second draws as it really heat soaks the whole chamber. But that was a really, really tasty hit and a good amount of vapor. The other thing you have to kind of learn about the Crafty is there is something people refer to as the Bickel tickle, which is this little tickling feeling you get in the back of the throat from using their devices. It's nothing to be concerned about. It just means it's working. It's those terpenes tickling the back of your throat, making it spicy. So at this point, once it's all heat soaked, most of your control comes from inhalation speed and strength. And how you know it's done is really just the flavor. So when you start to taste that popcorny, weird, burnty taste, it probably means it's pretty close to done. I found that some of my favorite draws is a slow to medium inhale that lasts about anywhere between 5 to 8 seconds, depending on the material. I usually run about 3-minute sessions on this, but for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and just turn it off, which is super easy to do once you're done. You push and hold the button until you see it flash. If it flashes blue like that, that means it's about at a quarter or more of battery. If it blinks faster than that, it's going to be less than 25%. And if it's a solid blue, that means you're up in the upper ranges of a full battery. So once you're done, go ahead and just twist the cooling unit off. I usually give this part a little blow to get all of the ABV that is on there off. Or if you have one of the Storz Bickel brushes, you can just go ahead and give that part a little brush. Then I dump out the capsule. If I have more ready to go, I'll just throw another one on there, and then boom, you are ready to rock. Be careful, the capsules do get pretty spicy and hot, so when they pop out of the oven, just make sure you are handling it appropriately. Let's go ahead and check this out. And this is at the stock temperature right out of the box. A nice thorough extraction, nice golden brown. Super happy with how this performs. I didn't have to do any stirring or anything like that. So I would say the Crafty gets an A+. It's safe to say that this has earned a solid spot in my rotation for dog walks and other things like this. I absolutely love the Crafty. I suggest this to anyone. I wish I had just gone to the Crafty first before spending all my money on all those other battery vapes, because if I had, I wouldn't have bought anything else. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay lifted.